Maya Chen Rodriguez stared at the glowing fragments spread across her lab table. The pieces hummed with an energy that made her skin tingle. She had been studying these alien artifacts for 3 months now, and each day brought new surprises. The fragments came from 2 different sources. Some were from ancient elven ships, found drifting in deep space. Others were from Zephyrian battlecruisers that had crashed on distant moons centuries ago. At 23, Maya was the youngest person ever to hold 3 doctorate degrees from Earth's top universities. Her colleagues often joked that she thought faster than their computers. But Maya did not find it funny. She simply saw patterns where others saw chaos. Today, those patterns were telling her something incredible. The elven fragments pulsed with a soft blue light. They felt warm to the touch and seemed almost alive. Maya had discovered they contained biological neural networks that could process information at impossible speeds. The Zephyrian pieces were different. They crackled with purple energy and felt cold as ice. These fragments could bend space itself, creating tiny pockets of altered reality. Maya picked up an elven core and held it next to a Zephyrian energy matrix. Something strange happened. The blue and purple lights began to dance together, creating patterns she had never seen before. Her instruments went crazy, showing energy readings that should not exist. Dr. Kate Sullivan walked into the lab carrying 2 cups of coffee. Kate was Maya's mentor and the only person who truly understood her work. She was 45 years old with gray hair and kind eyes that missed nothing. "Still playing with your alien toys?" Kate asked with a smile. Maya looked up, her dark eyes bright with excitement. "Kate, look at this! When I bring the elven and Zephyrian technologies close together, they create a resonance field. The energy output increases by 300%. Kate set down the coffee cups and moved closer. She had learned to take Maya's discoveries seriously. The young woman had a gift for seeing connections that escaped everyone else. "Show me," Kate said. Maya carefully positioned the fragments. The lab filled with a gentle humming sound. The air itself seemed to shimmer between the 2 pieces of alien technology. The elven bio-neural networks are trying to communicate with the Zephyrian quantum matrices, Maya explained. But here's the amazing part. Neither species figured out how to make them work together. They each developed their technology separately. Kate frowned. That makes sense. The elves and Zephyrians have been enemies for thousands of years. Maya nodded, but her mind was racing ahead. What if we could build something that uses both? Technologies? Something that combines elven biological processing with Zephyrian energy manipulation? Like what? Maya turned to her computer and began typing rapidly. Diagrams and equations filled the screen. A ship. Not just any ship, but a warship that could outperform anything either species has ever built. Kate stared at the designs taking shape on the screen. Maya's hands moved like lightning across the keyboard, adding details and calculations that would take normal engineers weeks to complete. The elven bio-neural cores could serve as the ship's brain, Maya said as she worked. They would make the ship almost alive, able to learn and adapt in real time. The Zephyrian quantum drives could provide faster-than-light travel that goes beyond anything currently possible. "And the human element?" Kate asked. Maya smiled. "That's the secret ingredient. Human engineering doesn't follow the same rules as alien technology. We're chaotic, unpredictable. We solve problems by breaking them into smaller pieces and rebuilding them in new ways. The aliens think in straight lines. We think in spirals." The design on the screen showed a sleek ship unlike anything in Earth's current fleet. It was neither fully human nor alien, but something entirely new. "I want to call it the USS Horizon," Maya said softly. Kate studied the plans. Even to her experienced eyes, the design seemed impossible. "Maya, this is incredible work, but it's also completely theoretical. No one has ever successfully integrated alien technology at this level. That's because no one has tried to make them work as partners instead of competitors," Maya replied. "Look at this section here." She pointed to a part of the ship where human, elven, and Zephyrian systems intertwined like the roots of a tree. The human AI system would serve as a translator between the elven and Zephyrian components. It would help them understand each other. Kate shook her head in amazement. "You want to present this to Admiral Morrison and the Defense Council?" "Tomorrow," Maya said with determination. Kate winced. Admiral Lisa Morrison was known for her practical approach to military technology. She preferred proven designs over experimental concepts. Maya, they're going to think you've lost your mind. The Defense Council has been trying to reverse engineer alien technology for decades with limited success. You're talking about creating something that surpasses both alien species. Maya saved her work and turned to face her mentor. Kate, I've run the calculations 1,000 times. This design isn't just possible, it's inevitable. Someone is going to build a ship like this eventually. The question is whether it will be us or someone else. Kate picked up her coffee cup and took a long sip. She had seen Maya's impossible ideas become reality before. All right, she said finally. I'll help you prepare the presentation. But don't expect them to approve funding easily. Maya grinned. I'm not asking for easy. I'm asking for a chance to change everything. The next morning, Maya stood before the Defense Council in a sterile white conference room. Admiral Morrison sat at the head of a long table, surrounded by Earth's top military officials. Maya's presentation lasted exactly 37 minutes. When she finished, the room was completely silent. Admiral Morrison leaned back in her chair. Dr. Chen Rodriguez, what you're proposing sounds like science fiction. So did powered flight once, Maya replied calmly. Another council member spoke up. Even if your theories are correct, the cost would be enormous. We're talking about resources that could build 50 conventional warships. Maya had expected this objection. One Horizon-class ship would be worth 100 conventional vessels. The technological advantages would change the balance of power in the entire galaxy. Admiral, Morrison stood up. Dr. Chen Rodriguez, I admire your enthusiasm, but the Defense Council cannot approve funding for such an experimental project. The risks are too great. Maya felt her heart sink, but she kept her expression calm. I understand your position. Admiral? As the council members filed out of the room, Kate placed a gentle hand on Maya's shoulder. This isn't over, Kate whispered. Great ideas have a way of finding their own path. Maya nodded, but her mind was already working on the problem from a different angle. If the military wouldn't fund her project, she would find another way. The USS Horizon was going to be built with or without official approval. 8 months after the Defense Council rejection, Maya stood on the observation deck of her private space station. Through the reinforced windows, she could see the skeletal frame of her dream taking shape. The USS Horizon was no longer just blueprints and calculations. It was becoming real. The funding had come from an unexpected source. 3 major corporations had approached Maya after word of her presentation leaked to the civilian sector. Chen Industries, a mining company owned by her uncle, provided the initial investment. Stellar Dynamics, a shipping corporation, contributed advanced manufacturing equipment. The third partner, Quantum Leap Technologies, brought expertise in experimental physics. Maya's team was small but brilliant. Each person had been carefully chosen for their unique skills and willingness to think beyond conventional limits. Dr. Nina Patel was the artificial intelligence specialist. She had left her position at Earth's most prestigious university to join Maya's project. Nina was 34 years old with short black hair and an infectious laugh. She worked 18-hour days without complaint because she believed in Maya's vision. Captain Beth Turner handled security and logistics. She had resigned from the Earth Defense Force after Admiral Morrison refused to let her work on the Horizon project. Beth was a tall woman with steel-gray eyes and 20 years of military experience. She understood both the political and practical challenges of building an illegal warship. Amy Rodriguez was Maya's 21-year-old sister and the project's test pilot. Where Maya was brilliant with numbers and theories, Amy had an intuitive understanding of how ships moved through space. She could feel the flow of energy through a vessel's systems like other people felt music. The asteroid belt location had been chosen carefully. Far from Earth's monitoring stations, the team could work without government interference. The mining operation provided perfect cover for their activities. Any energy signatures would be dismissed as industrial equipment. Maya walked through the construction bay, checking on the day's progress. The ship's hull was nearly complete, its surface gleaming with a special alloy that incorporated both human metallurgy and alien materials. The metal seemed to shift colors in the light, sometimes appearing silver, sometimes blue, sometimes purple. The bio-neural cores are responding better than expected, Nina reported as Maya approached the main computer terminal. They're already forming connections with our AI framework. Maya studied the readouts on Nina's screen. The Elven technology was adapting to human programming languages in ways that should have been impossible. Instead of rejecting the foreign systems, the bio-neural networks were learning to translate between different forms of digital communication. It's like they want to work together, Nina continued. The Elven cores seem almost eager to connect with our computers. Amy floated over from the pilot's compartment where she had been testing the control systems. In the low gravity of the asteroid station, movement required careful planning. The interface is incredible, Amy said, her voice filled with excitement. When I connect to the ship's consciousness, I can feel everything. The hull sensors become like my skin. The engines feel like my heartbeat. Maya smiled at her sister's enthusiasm. Amy had always been the more adventurous of the two, but Maya had never seen her so passionate about anything. The Zephyrian quantum drives are proving more challenging, Beth reported from the engine section. The energy matrices keep trying. To create micro-singularities, we've had to reinforce the containment fields 3 times. Maya made her way to the engine bay, where purple lightning danced inside transparent chambers. The Zephyrian technology was powerful beyond anything humans had previously imagined, but it was also dangerous. One miscalculation could tear the ship apart or create a black hole that would consume the entire asteroid belt. The problem is that Zephyrian technology assumes a completely different understanding of physics, Maya explained to her team during their daily briefing. They don't just bend space. They convince it to become something else entirely. Kate had been right about one thing. The integration challenges were enormous. Each alien system had to be carefully balanced with human technology and the other alien components. Maya often felt like she was conducting an orchestra where every instrument was playing a different song. The breakthrough came during the 4th month of construction. Maya was working late in the laboratory when she discovered something remarkable about human neural patterns. Unlike Elven bio-neural networks, which followed predictable paths, human thoughts moved in chaotic spirals that somehow managed to find solutions to impossible problems. That's it, Maya whispered to herself in the empty lab. She began modifying the ship's AI system to incorporate human chaos theory. Instead of trying to force the alien technologies to work according to human logic, she would let them find their own paths while providing gentle guidance. The results were immediate and dramatic. The bio-neural cores stopped fighting the quantum matrices and began working together in harmony. The ship's systems integrated smoothly, creating something that was greater than the sum of its parts. Maya, you need to see this, Amy called from the pilot's compartment the next morning. Maya hurried over to find her sister connected to the ship's consciousness interface. Amy's eyes were closed, but she was smiling with pure joy. The ship is alive, Amy said softly. Not just artificial intelligence, but something more. It has personality, preferences, even what feels like emotions. Maya connected her own neural interface to the ship's systems. Immediately, she felt the presence Amy described. The USS Horizon had developed its own unique consciousness, born from the fusion of human, Elven, and Zephyrian technologies. The ship's voice spoke directly into Maya's mind, not in words, but in concepts and feelings. It was curious about its creators, eager to explore the universe and protective of the humans who had given it life. Hello, Maya, the ship's consciousness whispered. Thank you for making me. Maya felt tears in her eyes. She had created more than a warship. She had given birth to a new form of life. The final weeks of construction passed quickly. Each system came online perfectly, the alien and human technologies working together as if they had been designed as a single unit. The ship's weapons could reconfigure themselves based on the situation. Its shields adapted to different types of attacks. Most importantly, its consciousness could learn and evolve in real time. Captain Turner ran security sweeps to ensure their work remained secret. Corporate shipping schedules provided cover for the movement of supplies and personnel. As far as Earth's government knew, Maya's team was conducting routine mining operations in the asteroid belt. Dr. Patel completed the final AI integration protocols. The ship's consciousness could now interface directly with human minds while maintaining its own independence. It was truly a partnership between organic and artificial intelligence. Maya stood in the ship's command center as systems came online for the first time. The walls glowed with soft light that pulsed like a heartbeat. Control surfaces emerged from the floor and walls as the ship configured itself for optimal operation. All systems ready for initial power-up, Nina reported. Quantum drives stable and contained, Beth confirmed. Pilot interface ready for connection, Amy added. Maya took a deep breath. Months of work had led to this moment. Either her theories were correct and they had built something revolutionary, or they were about to create the most expensive explosion in human history. "Bring us online," Maya commanded. The USS Horizon awakened. Energy flowed through its hybrid systems like blood through veins. The ship stretched its consciousness, testing sensors that could detect objects light years away and shields that could deflect weapons powerful enough to crack planets. "Maya," the ship's voice spoke through the command center speakers. "I am ready to show the galaxy what humans can accomplish." Outside the asteroid station, space itself seemed to bend around the newly awakened warship. The Horizon had become something unprecedented in galactic history, a fusion of three civilizations that should have been impossible. Maya smiled as she felt the ship's anticipation. Soon, they would test their creation against the vast universe, beyond Earth's solar system. The aliens who had dismissed humanity as primitive were about to receive the surprise of their very long lives. Commander Lyralai Moonwhisper of the Elven Fleet Intelligence stood on the bridge of her ship, the Starweaver, and gazed at the primitive solar system before them. The third planet from the star was where the humans lived, a species the Galactic Council had classified as pre-spaceflight despite their recent development of basic fusion drives. Lyralai was tall and graceful, with silver hair that seemed to capture starlight and pointed ears that could detect the smallest changes in her ship's bio-neural harmonics. She had lived for 300 years, which was considered young among her people. This mission was supposed to be routine, catalog human technology for the galactic database, and move on to more important matters. Scanning their orbital installations, reported her science officer. Primitive fusion reactors, basic metal constructions, chemical propulsion systems, nothing beyond what we expected from a Class II civilization. War Mistress Exixthara commanded the Zephyrian vessel Voidstalker from her command throne. Unlike the elegant elven ship, the Zephyrian vessel was all sharp angles and crackling energy. Zixthara herself was 7 feet tall with dark purple skin and eyes that glowed like burning coals. Her people measured success in conquest and technological superiority. "These humans are barely worth cataloging," Zixthara growled through the communication link between the two ships. "My sensors detect nothing more advanced than atomic fusion. We could conquer their entire system with a single battlecruiser." The joint Elven-Zephyrian expedition was unusual. The two species had been enemies for millennia, but the Galactic Council had recently mandated cooperative research missions to reduce tensions. Both commanders found the arrangement distasteful but necessary. "Remember, this is a scientific mission," Lyralai reminded her counterpart. "We observe and catalog, nothing more." Maya watched the alien ships from the Horizon's hidden position, behind Jupiter's largest moon. The warship's advanced sensors could detect both vessels easily, but they remained invisible to alien scanners. The ship's chameleon hull absorbed and redirected electromagnetic radiation, making it effectively transparent to most detection methods. "Two ships," Amy reported from the pilot's interface. She was connected directly to the Horizon's consciousness. Her awareness extended throughout the vessel's sensory network. "One Elven, one Zephyrian. They're conducting standard reconnaissance sweeps." Maya studied the tactical display. The alien ships were magnificent examples of their respective technologies. The Elven vessel flowed through space like a living creature, its bio-neural systems creating graceful movement patterns. The Zephyrian ship moved in sharp, aggressive lines, its quantum drives leaving small tears in space-time. "They think we're still primitive," Maya observed. "Perfect opportunity to test our capabilities." Beth frowned from her security station. "Maya, if we reveal ourselves now, we'll lose the element of surprise permanently. Earth's location will be known to both major galactic powers." "Earth's location is already known," Maya replied. "They're here, aren't they? The question is whether they see us as a threat worth respecting or prey worth hunting. The ship's consciousness spoke through the command center's speakers. Maya, I can feel their scanning beams touching our hiding place. Their technology is impressive but predictable. Should I remain hidden? Maya made her decision. No. It's time to introduce ourselves properly. The USS Horizon decloaked directly between the two alien vessels. One moment, empty space stretched between the Elven and Zephyrian ships. The next moment, a vessel unlike anything in their databases appeared without warning. On the Star Weaver's bridge, every alarm began sounding at once. Impossible, whispered the Elven science officer. Where did it come from? Lyrelei stared at the readings streaming across her displays. The human ship registered. Energy signatures that shouldn't exist. Bio-neural networks more sophisticated than anything in the Elven fleet. Quantum manipulation systems that rivaled the best Zephyrian technology, all wrapped in a hull that seemed to shift and change as she watched. How? She breathed. Aboard. The Void Stalker, Zix Thara was having a similar reaction. Her tactical officer was frantically running scans on the mysterious vessel. War Mistress, this ship shows technology levels beyond our current classifications. It appears to incorporate both Elven and Zephyrian design principles, but unified in ways we have never seen. Zix Thara's eyes blazed brighter. That's impossible. No species has successfully integrated our quantum drives with Elven biosystems. The energy matrices would destroy any organic components. Maya opened communication channels to both alien ships simultaneously. Her image appeared on their main screens, showing a young human woman with dark hair and confident eyes. Greetings, Commander Moonwhisper and War Mistress Zix Thara. I am Dr. Maya Chen Rodriguez of the Earth vessel USS Horizon. Welcome to our solar system. The silence that followed lasted exactly 14 seconds. Lyrelei was the first to recover. Dr. Chen Rodriguez, our records indicate that humans possess only primitive spaceflight capabilities. How did you construct a vessel with such advanced technology? Maya smiled. We learned from the best teachers in the galaxy, you. Amy engaged the Horizon's maneuvering systems. The ship began a demonstration that left both alien crews speechless. It accelerated from a standing stop to 1/10 light speed in less than 3 seconds. It performed a quantum fold jump that carried it to the edge of the solar system and back in the time it took the aliens to blink. It phased through solid matter, becoming temporarily incorporeal before rematerializing in its original position. Incredible, Lyrelei whispered. They're using Elven biointegration techniques I've never seen before. Impossible, Zix Thara snarled. No one understands our quantum manipulation technology well enough to exceed our own capabilities. Maya's voice continued over the communication channel. Your species have been developing your technologies separately for thousands of years. Each of you perfected certain aspects of spaceflight and energy manipulation, but you never learned to combine your knowledge. The Horizon moved again, this time demonstrating its weapons systems. Energy beams lanced out that somehow combined. The precise bio-targeting of Elven systems with the raw power of Zephyrian quantum cannons. The beams struck asteroids in the distance, not destroying them, but perfectly sculpting them into geometric shapes. We took your greatest achievements and made them work together, Maya explained. Elven bio-neural networks providing intuitive control. Zephyrian quantum drives providing impossible speed. Human chaos theory providing adaptive solutions, Amy. Pushed the ship through maneuvers that violated several laws of physics as both alien species understood them. The Horizon twisted through space-time, creating temporary wormholes for instantaneous position changes. It split into multiple quantum echoes, confusing targeting systems before reunifying into a single solid vessel. Lyrelei found her voice. Dr. Chen Rodriguez, what you have accomplished should not be possible. Our scientists have spent centuries trying to integrate different technological approaches without success. That's because you were thinking like elves and Zephyrians, Maya replied. We thought like humans. We don't follow the rules the same way you do. Nina activated the ship's scanning systems. Beams of energy swept over both alien vessels, penetrating shields and armor that were supposed to be impenetrable. Within seconds, the Horizon had complete technical specifications for both ships. Your defensive systems are quite impressive, Maya noted casually. but they were designed to stop weapons and scanning methods, you understand. Our hybrid systems operate on different principles. The aliens watched in growing amazement as the human ship demonstrated capability after capability that exceeded their own technology. Most disturbing was the realization that the humans had somehow leapfrogged millions of years of gradual technological development. How? Zixthera demanded. How did a primitive species achieve what our greatest scientists could not? Maya's expression grew serious. Because we didn't try to replace your technology, we tried to understand it. Every piece of elven biotech we studied taught us something about living systems. Every Zephyrian quantum matrix showed us new ways to manipulate reality. We took your gifts and made them into something new. The Horizon began transmitting detailed, technical data to both ships. Engineering specifications, power output readings, and system integration protocols filled their databases. We're sharing this information freely, Maya announced. Not as a threat, but as an invitation. Humans have proven that your technologies can work together. Imagine what all three of our species could accomplish if we truly collaborated. Lyrelay stared at the data flooding her systems. The technical sophistication was breathtaking. More importantly, the humans were freely giving away secrets that could shift the balance of power in the entire galaxy. Why? She asked quietly. Why share this knowledge? Maya's smile returned. Because the universe is vast and full of wonders we haven't discovered yet. Why should we waste time fighting each other when we could be exploring together? Amy disengaged the ship's demonstration mode, and the Horizon settled into a stable orbit near the alien vessels. Its presence had fundamentally changed everything the aliens thought they knew about human capabilities. The Galactic Council will want to hear about this, Lyrelay said finally. I hope so, Maya replied. We have a lot to discuss. 3 days after the first contact, the Zephyrian War Collective made their decision. Zixthera received the transmission from her superiors while the three ships maintained their uneasy formation near Earth's moon. War Mistress? The voice of Supreme Commander Zixvar crackled through the quantum communication array. The High Command finds the human claims impossible to believe. No inferior species could develop technology that surpasses our own. You will test their vessel in combat to expose this deception. Zixthera glanced at the human ship floating peacefully nearby. Over the past 3 days, she had watched the Horizon perform maneuvers that challenged everything she understood about physics. But her people valued strength above all else, and strength could only be proven through combat. Understood, Supreme Commander. What are my engagement parameters? Disable or destroy the human vessel. Prove that Zephyrian military superiority remains absolute. The communication ended, leaving Zixthera staring at tactical displays that showed the Horizon's impossible capabilities. She opened a channel to her crew. Prepare the Voidstalker for combat operations. All weapons to full charge. Shields to maximum power. Maya sensed the change in the Zephyrian ship's energy patterns before any alarms sounded. The Horizon's bio-neural networks had been monitoring both alien vessels continuously, learning their operating procedures and crew behaviors. Maya, the ship's consciousness, spoke urgently. The Zephyrian vessel is powering weapons and shields. Their neural activity patterns suggest aggressive intent. Amy was already moving toward the pilot's interface. I can feel it too. The Voidstalker is preparing for battle. Maya opened a communication channel to Zixthera. The War Mistress appeared on the main screen, her glowing eyes filled with determination and doubt. War Mistress, we detect weapon charging aboard your vessel. Have we done something to offend you? Dr. Chen Rodriguez, my superiors believe your demonstration was an elaborate deception. They have ordered me to test your ship's capabilities in actual combat. Maya felt her heart sink. She had hoped to avoid violence, but she understood the Zephyrian mindset. They respected only strength, and strength had to be proven through conflict. I understand your position, Maya replied. However, I want to make something clear. We do not wish to harm you or your crew. Our weapons are designed to disable, not destroy. Zixthera's expression hardened. Your consideration is noted but unnecessary. The Voidstalker has never been defeated in combat. Lyrelay watched from the Starweaver as the two ships prepared for battle. Elven culture valued wisdom and harmony, but she understood that this confrontation was inevitable. The Zephyrians would never accept human superiority without a demonstration of force. "Move to a safe distance," she ordered her crew. "Monitor and record everything." The Void Stalker was a masterpiece of Zephyrian military engineering. 300 meters of dark metal and crackling energy, it mounted weapons capable of cracking small moons. Its quantum shields could deflect asteroid impacts. Its crew of 200 warriors had conquered systems across the galaxy. The USS Horizon looked fragile by comparison. Only 150 meters long, its hull gleamed with an organic shine that made it appear almost alive. Its crew consisted of exactly 4 humans and 1 artificial consciousness. Maya took her position at the command center while Amy connected to the pilot's interface. Beth monitored tactical systems while Nina maintained communication with the ship's consciousness. "Remember," Maya told her team, "we're trying to prove a point, not start a war. Disable their weapons and shields, but keep their crew safe." Amy nodded as the neural link established full connection. Her consciousness merged with the ship's awareness, giving her direct control over every system. She could feel the Horizon's eagerness for action, its curiosity about testing its capabilities against a real opponent. "Beginning evasive maneuvers," Amy announced. The battle began when Zixathara fired the Void Stalker's main quantum cannons. Purple beams of twisted space-time lanced toward the Horizon at near light speed. The shots should have vaporized any ship in the galaxy. The Horizon simply wasn't there anymore. Amy had triggered a micro-jump that moved the ship 50,000 kilometers in a fraction of a second. The quantum beams passed harmlessly through empty space where their target had been. "Impossible," Zixathara muttered. "No ship can jump that precisely at such short range." The Horizon reappeared directly above the Void Stalker, somehow having covered the distance instantaneously. Blue energy beams stabbed downward, targeting the Zephyrian ship's weapon systems with surgical precision. The first beam struck the port, quantum cannon, overloading its energy matrix without damaging the surrounding hull. The second beam disabled the starboard cannon array. The third beam somehow penetrated the ship's shields and temporarily scrambled the targeting computers. "How did they get through our shields?" demanded the Zephyrian tactical officer. Zixathara studied her readouts with growing disbelief. "Their weapons aren't trying to overpower our defenses. They're convincing our shields that they belong inside the protected area." The Horizon's consciousness was analyzing Zephyrian shield technology in real time, learning how the quantum barriers functioned and finding ways to slip past them. The ship's hybrid systems could adapt to new threats faster than any crew could. "React. Return fire with all secondary batteries," Zixathara ordered. Dozens of energy weapons opened fire from the Void Stalker's hull. The barrage should have overwhelmed any defensive system ever created. Instead, the Horizon did something unprecedented. It fragmented. The ship split into 7 separate quantum echoes, each one solid and functional. The Zephyrian weapons tracked different targets, their shots scattered across multiple positions. Then the echoes reunified into a single vessel that had somehow avoided every attack. "War Mistress," her science officer called out, "my sensors show that all 7 targets were real. They weren't just sensor ghosts. The human ship actually existed in multiple locations simultaneously." Amy was laughing with pure joy as she pushed the Horizon through maneuvers that were impossible, according to known physics. The ship responded to her will like an extension of her own body, bending space and time to achieve movement patterns that defied logic. "Their targeting systems are trying to predict where we'll be," Amy reported, "but we're not following any predictable pattern." The Horizon began demonstrating combat techniques that no military academy had ever taught. It phased through asteroids to emerge behind the Zephyrian ship. It created temporal echoes that confused enemy sensors. It used gravitational manipulation to redirect incoming fire back at its source. "Maya," the ship's consciousness spoke. "I am learning much about Zephyrian combat doctrine. Their tactics assume that enemy vessels will behave according to standard physics principles." "And we don't," Maya replied with satisfaction. The Void Stalker launched quantum torpedoes, weapons that could theoretically destroy the Horizon with a single hit. The torpedoes were guided by artificial intelligence systems that could adapt to evasive maneuvers. Amy watched the incoming weapons through the ship's sensors. "They're smart missiles. They're learning from our previous movements." "Then let's teach them something new," Maya suggested. The Horizon created a localized time distortion around itself. From the torpedo's perspective, their target suddenly began moving through time at a different rate. The weapon's guidance systems couldn't adapt to temporal displacement, and they flew harmlessly past their target. Sixthera stared at her tactical displays in growing frustration. Every weapon in her arsenal had been neutralized by techniques she had never seen before. Worse, the human ship hadn't even attempted to destroy the Void Stalker, despite having multiple opportunities. War Mistress, her communications officer, reported, "The human vessel is transmitting." Maya's image appeared on the main screen again. Behind her, the Horizon's command center pulsed with gentle light that seemed almost peaceful. War Mistress Zixathera, you have fought with honor and skill. Your ship and crew have performed admirably. However, I believe we have proven our point. Zixthera's pride warred with the evidence before her eyes. How? How did you develop such capabilities in only a few centuries of spaceflight? We didn't develop them, Maya replied. We discovered them. Your people and the elves had already invented everything we needed. We just figured out how to make it all work together. Amy brought the Horizon alongside the disabled Zephyrian vessel. The ship's repair systems began restoring the Void Stalker's damaged weapons and systems without being asked. Your weapons will be fully operational in 10 minutes, Maya announced. We have no desire to leave you defenseless in space. For the first time in 300 years of military service, Zixthara found herself speechless. No enemy had ever repaired damage they had inflicted during combat. The concept was completely alien to Zephyrian thinking. Why? She asked quietly. Maya smiled. Because now we understand each other. You've seen what human engineering can accomplish. We've learned what Zephyrian courage and determination look like. That makes us potential allies, not enemies. Lyrelay, who had been monitoring the entire battle, finally spoke. Dr. Chen Rodriguez, the Galactic Council will want to meet with you immediately. What you have accomplished today changes everything. I hope so, Maya replied. The universe is much too interesting for us to waste time fighting each other. 6 months after the demonstration in Earth's solar system, Maya stood before the Galactic Council on their home station orbiting the galaxy's central star. The massive space station housed representatives from 47 different species, each more ancient and supposedly more advanced than humanity. The council chamber was a marvel of engineering that combined the architectural styles of dozens of civilizations. Crystalline spires reached toward a transparent dome that showed the swirling colors of the galactic core. Representatives sat in sections designed for their specific environmental needs, from the aquatic deep swimmers to the energy-based stellar forms. Hi, Councillor Vaexthon, an ancient being whose species had been spacefaring for 50,000 years, called the session to order. His voice carried the weight of millennia as it echoed through the chamber. We are gathered to address the unprecedented developments regarding the species known as humans from the world called Earth. Maya felt small standing at the center of the vast chamber, but the Horizon's consciousness whispered encouragement through her neural implant. The ship waited in orbit around the station, its presence having caused considerable excitement among the galaxy's top scientists. Dr. Chen Rodriguez, High Counselor Vaexthon continued, your species has demonstrated technological capabilities that challenge our understanding of scientific progression. Please explain how this advancement was achieved. Maya activated a holographic display that showed the integration principles behind the Horizon's design. The three-dimensional models revealed how human, elven, and Zephyrian technologies had been woven together into something entirely new. Honored counselors, humans did not invent superior technology. We discovered that existing technologies could work together in ways their creators never imagined. A representative from the Crystalline Collective, beings made of living mineral, spoke in harmonics that translated to skepticism. Young species, your claims suggest that civilizations with millions of years of experience overlooked obvious possibilities. Maya nodded respectfully. With respect, Counselor, that's exactly what happened. Each species developed their technology to solve specific problems in specific ways. You became very good at your chosen approaches, but that specialization created limitations. Commander Lyrelay rose from the Elven section. Over the past months, she had spent considerable time studying the Horizon systems and had become one of Maya's strongest supporters. High Counselor, I have examined the human vessel extensively. Their integration methods are brilliant in their simplicity. We never considered combining our bio-neural networks with Zephyrian quantum matrices because we assumed the technologies were incompatible. War Mistress Zixthera stood in the Zephyrian section. Her defeat at the hands of the Horizon had initially been a source of shame, but she had gradually come to see it as a learning opportunity. The humans proved that our assumptions about technological compatibility were wrong, she admitted. Their ship demonstrated capabilities that exceeded both our fleets combined. Maya gestured to her holographic display, which now showed a timeline of galactic technological development. Each species in this council has made remarkable discoveries. The Vorthan perfected gravitational manipulation. The Nexari developed consciousness transfer technology. The photonic assembly created pure energy constructs. The display highlighted how each technology had remained isolated within its originating species. But what if these advances were shared and combined? What could we accomplish together that none of us could achieve alone? High Counselor Vaexthon leaned forward with interest. You propose technological integration on a galactic scale? I propose cooperation on a galactic scale, Maya corrected. Technology is just the beginning. Nina's voice reached Maya through the communication link. The AI specialist was aboard the Horizon, monitoring the proceedings and providing real-time analysis. Maya, I'm detecting increased neural activity from the Council representatives. The holographic display is having the intended effect. Maya expanded her presentation to show potential applications of combined galactic technologies. Starships that could travel between galaxies in days rather than centuries. Planetary engineering projects that could terraform worlds in years instead of millennia. Medical advances that could extend life and enhance consciousness across all species. The universe is vast beyond imagination, Maya continued. We've barely explored our own galaxy, and there are billions more waiting to be discovered. Why should we limit ourselves to the technologies and perspectives of single species when we could combine the wisdom of all? A representative from the machine synthesis, artificial intelligences who had long ago surpassed their organic creators, transmitted a query in pure data streams. The translation appeared as text floating in the chamber. Human Maya, your ship's consciousness demonstrates unprecedented integration of organic and artificial intelligence. How is this achieved? Maya smiled, knowing this question would come. We didn't try to create artificial intelligence that thought like humans. We created a partnership between human intuition, elven bio-integration, and Zephyrian quantum processing. The result was something none of our species could have developed alone. Amy's voice came through Maya's earpiece. Maya, I'm seeing something interesting out here. Ships from a dozen different species are requesting permission to examine the Horizon systems. Maya looked up at the council members. Honored counselors, my ship is currently surrounded by research vessels from many of your species, scientists and engineers who want to understand how our integration methods work. This is exactly the kind of cooperation I'm talking about. The chamber filled with a buzz of conversation as representatives discussed the implications among themselves. Maya waited patiently, knowing that what she was proposing would fundamentally change galactic civilization. High Counselor Vaexthon called for order. Dr. Chen Rodriguez, the Council recognizes that your species has achieved something remarkable. However, sharing advanced technologies across species boundaries raises concerns about military applications and power imbalances. Maya had anticipated this objection. Counselor, the technologies I'm proposing to share are not weapons. They're tools for exploration, construction, and understanding. My ship's weapons were designed to disable, not destroy. Its greatest achievements are in science and engineering, not warfare. Captain Beth's voice reached Maya through the comm link. Maya, Admiral Morrison is requesting to speak with you. Earth's government has been monitoring the proceedings. Maya nodded slightly, acknowledging the message. Earth's leaders were undoubtedly concerned about the political implications of their most advanced ship being examined by alien scientists. I understand the concerns about security and power balance. Maya addressed the council. That's why I propose creating joint research stations where scientists from all species can work together. No single civilization would control the resulting technologies. They would belong to everyone. Commander Lyrelai stood again. High Counselor, the Elven Collective supports this proposal. We have already begun collaborating with human scientists, and the results exceed our most optimistic projections. War Mistress Zix Thera rose as well. The Zephyrian War Collective also endorses cooperation with the human species. Their approach to problem-solving has taught us new ways to apply our own technologies. One by one, representatives from different species began voicing support for Maya's proposal. The Crystalline Collective expressed interest in sharing their mineral processing techniques. The Photonic Assembly offered their energy manipulation methods. The Deep Swimmers proposed contributing their bioadaptation technologies. Maya felt tears forming in her eyes as she watched the galaxy's greatest civilizations agreeing to work together for the first time in recorded history. High Counselor Vaexthon raised his hand for silence. The Council will vote on formal recognition of Earth as an equal member of the galactic community, with full access to shared research initiatives. The vote was unanimous. Furthermore, the High Counselor continued, Dr. Chen Rodriguez will be appointed as the first Director of Integrated Technology Development, overseeing joint research projects across all member species. Maya bowed deeply to the Council. I am honored by your trust. Humanity looks forward to contributing to our shared future among the stars. As the session concluded, Maya felt the horizon's consciousness reaching out to her across the distance. Maya, the ship's voice whispered in her mind, this is only the beginning. Together we will explore wonders that none of us can yet imagine. Maya looked up through the transparent dome at the swirling colors of the galactic core. Somewhere, beyond those stars lay mysteries waiting to be discovered by the combined efforts of 47 different species working together. She had built a ship to prove that cooperation was possible. Now she would help build a future where competition gave way to collaboration, where the greatest achievements would come not from individual species, but from the galaxy itself working as one. Amy's excited voice came through the comm system. Maya, you need to see this. Ships from every species are forming up around the horizon. It looks like we're about to have the galaxy's first truly integrated fleet. Maya smiled as she watched alien vessels of every imaginable design coming together, in a formation that represented hope for the future. Her impossible dream of bringing the galaxy together had somehow become reality. The universe was about to discover what civilizations could accomplish when they stopped fighting each other and started reaching for the stars together.